All right, Mustang fans and surrounding areas, welcome to another episode. This is episode number 2 of the MPND Sports Network, which we're going to change to the Coach Caitlin Whittle podcast. So we'll start that next week. And it's her podcast talking about her program, her players. So we'll start that. So you'll start seeing that on the MPND Sports Network, and we'll be calling it that starting next week. But it is episode number 2. And this is the podcast where we talk Ingleside Lady Mustangs volleyball, and coach is going to have one of her players every time she comes on. And this week we have our special guest, Lady Mustangs, Avery Adame. Avery, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you, Avery, for joining the podcast and spending some time here with us to introduce you to the community, the surrounding areas, give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself, your teammates, the program and stuff. So definitely happy to have you. And then also heading our volleyball program here at Ingleside is the head coach for the Lady Mustangs, Caitlin Whittle. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
And once again, we're here, Coach, and I want to thank you for coming on every Wednesday. I know you're busy with a lot of stuff going on, but making time for us here, I really appreciate that as we can talk more in depth about stats, players' performance, recap, preview games. That's basically what we're going to be doing. And then, Coach, anything that she wants to talk about, she's more than welcome to. So, Coach, let's just jump right into it here. Avery, I'm going to go with Coach first, and then I'll go to you. So let's talk. So you had the tournament, I believe. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You guys were in a tournament over the weekend. Just kind of tell us where you were at, teams that you played, and how did we do at this tournament?
Yeah, we were at the Banketti tournament. We played Friday and Saturday this past week, and we played well in pool play. We lost a couple matches that we probably should have won, just made some late game errors that cost us the win. But, in a positive spin on that, we went into bracket play on Saturday, and we learned from those mistakes. We ended up going 2-0 on Saturday and winning our bracket. So, and playing teams that we played John Paul again, the second, and we beat them. But we got to play Taft again, who we had lost to previously in the Woodsboro tournament. So that was a really good match for us to kind of see, what we've learned from the time we played Taft the first time to the second time. And we actually came back from a little bit of a deficit and to beat them in the last set. So it was a really good weekend for us. We had some girls kind of step up and do some things, especially some of our younger girls kind of start finding a rhythm and getting some points. So it was a good weekend for us.
Yeah, Coach, and you talked about how young still this team is, right? How they're still learning. It's still early in the season too, Mustang fans. So it's great to see that, taking on a team that you said lost the first go around. You come back, you see your team get the win. Obviously, whatever it is that we're doing out there, girls are learning and they're picking up. And so it's great. It was a good tournament for us. Coach, do you have any other tournament scheduled for the rest of the season?
Yes, varsity has their final tournament this weekend. We're going to Skidmore on Friday and Saturday. In pool play on Friday, I'm excited. We're going to be playing Orange Grove, which, as you know, that was one of our district competitions last year. They're no longer in our district, so they're pretty good. I would feel like an evenly matched team for us. So it'll be a good little challenge to see how we do against that team. So I'm really excited about that game. And then we also play Odom, and then we play Banketti's JV. So,
good.
Not a whole lot of competition with those two teams, but it'll be an opportunity to just get some reps and try to, clean up the little hitting errors and some of the minor things that we've come across, and especially when we play teams that don't play at the same level of intensity as we do. So,
I think yeah, Coach, I think it's good because I think winning gives players, anybody, confidence, right? So when you're in there, even if you're competing and you give yourself an opportunity to win, or you're in the game to win, whether you win or lose, I think helps the girls, right? In this situation, I think it every little thing that we're doing it's making us better. And coaches always come on the podcast and they say everything is geared up. I mean, like, coach will tell me, like, I want to win the scrimmages, right? We want to play good. We want to win the non-district, but everything is geared toward the district, right? So we got plenty of opportunities. We want to make sure that whatever we need to work on, we're working on. And so glad to hear that we're going to another tournament. That's always good for the girls. And then we'll get with Coach on last night's game here in a bit. But Coach, I wanted to also ask, I always want to ask from now on, is everyone healthy on the team?
Yeah, everybody's healthy. Knock on wood. Uh, Last year was like the season of ankle injuries, and I really pushed wearing ankle braces this year because pretty much everybody plays, so everybody has a vital role, and yeah, we're all healthy right now. So
That's good.
don't.
Yeah, I didn't want to jinx it. I said, man, I should say. And then, I've been telling all the coaches, I said, I'm going to ask. So it's good that we're healthy. And again, for us, the MPND Sports Network coach, we are going to make our way out there. I think the road games this year are going to be a little hard unless it's close. But I know that we can make some home games there for Ingleside. And we definitely want to get out there. I know Fridays we're out there with the football team. So I know I can't make it on Fridays, but we've got some Tuesdays open. I'm looking at your schedule to see when we're playing at home. It's an easy drive from here to get out there quickly and be able to stream varsity. Hopefully, get some JV and freshmen in there, but definitely want to get some live streams as we continue to build a team out there. That hopefully next year we can have someone that can go out there, road games and home games, to stream all of our volleyball games. But definitely going to make it out there. It's on our agenda to get out there and get some games. And you can just tune into the MPND Sports Network to know the dates that we'll be going out there. That you can't make the game, definitely check it out on our network as we stream some of the volleyball games. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the lower levels from last week, our JV and freshmen. What are they doing? What games have they played?
Let's see. Our JV2 hasn't played a game since last Tuesday. This just didn't really fit in the schedule with our tournaments and everything. But our JV1 just finished playing right now. They just walked in the locker room and they won. They beat John Paul in 2 sets tonight. So yeah, they're a pretty strong group. I mean, a good chunk of those JV1 girls are going to be on varsity next year, and maybe could even be pulled up at some point in the season, as subs, especially if we go into the postseason. Just a really strong group, and they played very well tonight. We played John Paul, who's, not the most offensive team, but when we got the ball, we ran our system, and we have some pretty strong hitters in that group. So there'll be people you're definitely going to want to be looking for in the future. A lot of young talent.
Absolutely. And coach is sending me the stats. Send me the stats there for the varsity. I wasn't able to read it, but we are going to post it up. And from now on, I'll get a hold of that so that I'll have the stats so that I can ask coach questions. So my apologies for not having that ready today, but I will have it ready next week. As like I said, in this podcast, we want to definitely talk about players, individual players that stood out in certain games, and be able to post their stats up on the our network here. So definitely be looking out for that. And then coach, the middle school, they play, I believe, 1 game a week. How are they doing down there at that level?
They play their first game tomorrow, actually, in Rockport. I will have to say, our 7th graders are probably going to be the next big talented group that would run through Ingleside. They're already picking up our system. They're playing basically the same system as our high school is, with some minor tweaks. But I mean, they're going to be pretty good. I'm really excited to be able to see them play. Just very good athletes, very coachable young ladies. And that's our 7th grade group. And then our 8th grade group, they started where those 7th graders were last year. They learned a whole new system and they picked it up, and now they're getting to take it to the next level. So there's going to be a few of those 8th graders that could come in next year and probably, if not be on the varsity, but be on the JV team, because they're pretty talented. So I'm excited to see that group play. I've been working with them at their practices and just getting them to learn the game of volleyball inside and out, just like the high schoolers do. So
yeah, that's great to hear. And when we do these podcasts, a lot of people focus on the varsity, and rightfully so, right? It's the year, especially seniors. We want to get them on as much as we can and give them enough as much publicity as we can, because they won't be here next year. But I'm always interested, coach, in the future. That's just, when I do this, I'm always asking, and I want to see the young talent, because that's what keeps us competitive there in Ingleside, right? In all sports, what we're doing now and getting better every week, but you want to see what the future holds, right? And then to be able to share that with the community and let them know and get them excited about, Ingleside Lady Mustangs volleyball. Come on out, to the gym. What's the hype about? I remember when I was there, people were always talking. I said, man, I'm going to go check out the game. Why? What the hype? Everyone's talking about it. It's a buzz out in town. So let's go see. It's what we want to do. We want to keep the hype going there. We want people to fill up the gym there to support our female athletes and our male athletes, whatever sport they're playing. And this is the way I know how to do it, right? Because I think as a player, when I played in high school, when I saw the gym was packed, I wanted to take it to the next level. I was ready to go play for my school. So I know that our athletes are like that as well. So we'll continue to do these podcasts, and hopefully we can get those gyms full. If they are now, continue to keep it that way. And now, Coach, I'm going to jump over to Avery here for a minute and ask her some questions. Avery, you're a senior. So I'd like for you to introduce yourself to the community and just kind of let them know your name, your jersey number, and your responsibilities, your position that you play there for the Lady Mustangs.
Yeah, my name's Avery. I'm a senior. I'm number 14. I play libero in the middle back.
Awesome. Awesome. And so tell us, how has the season gone for you guys? I mean, you're a senior. We had Maddie on last week. Just talk a little bit about, still early in the season, but what are you seeing from your team?
I think we're pretty good. Um, I don't know. I have no words. Like they're a pretty good team. I like everybody on there. We have a very good attitude, and we want better, and we want to be better for the district, and hopefully to win some games.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're already off to that start. I mean, I saw your record there. I think it's great. I mean, you got a great coach. He comes in here and talks about you guys. Very excited. What do you have any personal goals for you? Like before you graduate, is there anything? Well, first of all, let me ask you: do you play any other sports outside of volleyball?
I play softball.
So you play softball. Okay, so that's yeah, because I had Coach Kevin Lewis on last year, and so I can tell you, I definitely looking forward to bringing him on this year and talking about the softball program there, because expectations are really high for you, Lady Mustangs. So is there anything you want to accomplish like before you graduate? Would it be volleyball or softball as an athlete? Anything that this year you're focusing? My personal goal is I want to do this before I graduate. Would it be volleyball or any other sport?
Um, I don't really think so. I just like want to be better for my team, and I just want to be like the leader and helping everybody keep a positive attitude and not get down on themselves. I try my hardest with this team too, because like sometimes like we all make mistakes, and like I try to be like uplifting to them. That's really just
Awesome. And that's a great question. That's a great answer, because that's what you need to be successful. You need those players when things don't go right. You want to have that senior leadership, right? Where you keep, especially the younger players, right? That can really get frustrated very quickly, especially the younger girls that you have on that team that are playing older girls. If things don't go right, frustration can build in very, very quickly and get them out of the game. So for us to have that leadership, to have you and Maddie, and like you're saying, I want to continue to be that positive person, uplifting. Yeah, I think it's what every player needs. So great answer. It's great to hear you say that. What's how far can this team go? I'm just going to ask you here. You start talking about games. You're going to get into district. I'm going to point blank ask you, can this team make the playoffs?
possibly. We have a pretty good district, so like we have Sinton, Port Lavaca, Rockport's pretty good, and so it's gonna be really challenging to get there, but we hope to get there.
Absolutely. And look, and that's why you play the game. And I think, like Coach says, we're learning. And I think that's the best thing for me when I see a team is I just want to get better. I mean, we all want to win. That's always the goal, right? But just getting better. It's a very long season, I think, for volleyball, not like football where you have 10 games. I mean, you guys are playing 2 games every week on the varsity level. You play tournaments. So there's a lot of games you play that gives us an opportunity to continue to get better. So I think coaches and fans, all they can ask for is just to be, go out there, compete, give it 100%. And Mustang fans, come out and support our Lady Mustangs, right? They need that. You're hearing the players talk about here. They're working hard. You hear coach talk about what they're doing in practice, what the other levels are doing. So we need to do our part to come on out here, support Lady Mustangs volleyball. Come on out every Tuesday, especially the home games, Tuesday and Friday, where we can, pack the stands and let them hear us cheer loud. Mustang pride never dies is what I always say. So definitely, hopefully we can continue to do our part And Maddie, Avery, I'll ask you your final question because I know you're a little nervous, so I wasn't going to ask you 10 questions, but I want to thank you for coming on. Just final thoughts. Anything you want to say to the community of Ingleside? Anything you want to add?
Just come out and support. We love to have fans here, and it like, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It makes us be better if
Uh,
we have a crowd.
Absolutely. And I'm going to continue to do my part, Avery, and coming out and putting you guys out there as much as we can on the network, streaming the games, having the podcast with Coach Whittle throughout the season, and shine some light on our program here. And hopefully people can catch on to that buzz and come on out, and you'll see more people out at the games, and hopefully see all those likes. I always tell people, like our podcast, like what they do. Kids see that, coaches see that, and they love the support, right? So I want to thank you for coming out again and spending some time here with us and talking with us a little bit about your volleyball program. But now I'm going to jump over back to Coach. And Coach, talk to us a little bit about last night's game. So you didn't play John Paul, you played Ben Bolt, I believe, and got the win. Talk to us a little bit, what was the change? What happened with the change? And then talk to us a little bit about the game.
So when we originally scheduled this game with John Paul, it was scheduled as a dual match. And for people who don't know what a dual match is, basically a dual match is John Paul's hosting the dual match. They're playing us and another team. So from my understanding, from the way we had a schedule, we were playing John Paul only at 5:30, and then that was it. But when we get there, the Ben Bolt coach, with her conversation with John Paul, is that we're having a tri match, which means we're all playing each other. So we played 2 games. So there was conflicts in the scheduling as far as the way that she was talking to one coach versus me, which isn't a big deal. But we just ended up deciding, since we'd already played John Paul twice, we were just going to play Ben Bolt, and then we just called it a night. So that's kind of how that's went down. But, we went into the game expecting to win. We had just watched them play John Paul, and, wasn't going to be major competition or anything. It wasn't really, statistically, looked at our stats, it didn't look like we did very much because we really didn't. We spent more time behind the serving line than we did actually in offense. So we just, we just took care of the ball. I mean, we did what we did with the ball, and when the other team couldn't return it, we just moved on to the next point.
Yeah.
So
I saw the stats, and then you and you talked to me about the game. Okay, Coach, so it's Wednesday here. So do we got a game on Friday?
We are going to be at that Skidmore tournament on Friday. Yeah. So we play Orange Grove, Odom, and then Banketti's JV.
There you go. So we got a lot of volleyball coming up also, and then talk about Tuesday's game.
So Tuesday we play here against Skidmore. That should be a pretty good match. They're really strong. They had a really, really good middle last year, and she graduated. Now she's playing D1 volleyball in Florida. And then their other good hitter, she's a senior. She's actually injured, but even despite that, they're still doing really, really well. It'll be a good game for us. We need some tougher competition. I feel like the first part of the season, we kind of just got caught up with whatever I could fill the schedule with because of the alignment last year. So we haven't had as tough of competition as I typically schedule. So this will be good for us. We need to pick up the pace a little bit in terms of speed of the game, and this will be the perfect opportunity for us to start doing that.
I think we're going to get some pretty good competition. I see Tolosa Midway on the schedule down here, Orange Grove, Rockport, Fulton. So we're going to get some good comps. So that's going to be really good. Coach, I think Tuesday, what time does the game start out there?
So the JV teams will play both at 5, and then varsity plays around 6.
And do they play in the same gym?
We have our main gym will be our JV1, and we have like a little auxiliary gym in the back. That's where our JV2 will play. They play at the same time. So, and then varsity will play in the main gym as soon as both games are over.
And that's that gym right there as you're walking in, right to your right.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, I'm available Tuesday. So I'm going to go out there, take advantage of streaming the game there for us. Cause I want to be able to get out there as much as I can. And I think that's a great opportunity. So I'll definitely post it out there, be able to stream the game, see if I can get there early enough to do the JV, and then definitely put the varsity up there. So, and coach, most coaches tell me, so I just want to let you know, once we put it up, we do want to kind of save it on the drive, but we will take it down. Most coaches ask us to take it down. So we do take the games down. So I just wanted to let you know it'll be up for like a day or two. We'll, do what we need to do to save it on the drive, and then we'll delete it from the network. We don't want to keep it out there. But excited to go out there. So right here on the podcast, I'll be out there Tuesday against Skidmore comes into town to take on Our Lady Mustangs. It's going to be a good one. I have seen them before. A few years back, and they did have some players. So I think this is going to be a good test for Our Lady Mustangs to see where we're at and what we can learn. Hopefully we'll come out with the win, but I'll definitely be out there. Well, Coach, now that you're giving me the stats, I'll be posting them out there. And next week I'll have a couple more questions for you in terms of player performance. Because I said, here on the podcast, we want to focus this year a lot more on our players and their stats and get coach's thoughts on performance. So next week, Coach, probably be a little bit longer. We'll break down a little bit more. I'll look at the stats and kind of ask you questions about players. And we also want to know about players, how they're developing into the system, and let the community know how certain players are doing. So we'll kind of pick 3 or 4 players each game and have Coach talk a little bit about them and their growth in the system as the season progresses. So Coach, thank you very much again for spending a little bit of time with me. Again, I'll be out there Tuesday and I'll be out in the stands. So maybe I can catch an interview with you or one of the players to see how things go. But anything you want to add before we let you go?
A couple things. So one thing I want to say about Miss Avery, she's our libero. And if you don't know what a libero is, for people who are watching out there, libero is typically the best passer. So they get to play, they can just go in whenever they need to go in. They're the person that's just responsible for passing anything and everything. So she's done a great job this season. She's rock solid. I don't have to worry about her at all. Ball's coming over, she's going to get to it. So definitely come out and see her in action because she's kicking butt this season.
Coach, I'm sorry, Coach. Has she played? How many years has she played? Has she always played for Ingleside? I didn't even ask her. Avery, have you always played for Ingleside?
Yes.
So when did you?
Born and raised.
Wow. So when did you start playing volleyball? Like, what got you into playing volleyball? Well, let me ask you this question: how long have you been playing volleyball? How many years?
I've been playing since 7th grade. I kind of just got into it myself. I just always wanted to try a different sport because I was raised on playing softball my whole life. But I wanted to try something different. So.
Wow, that's good. I think a lot of coaches nowadays say they kind of want their kids to play multiple sports, not just stay with one, and so that's awesome. And you've been on varsity. Is this your second year, third year?
My second.
Wow, that's awesome, and it's good. And Coach, I gotta say, with Avery here and Matt and Maddie last week, you definitely got some leadership there. And you can tell by like when she answered the question of, I just want to be a team player, no personal goals for me. We win as a team, and I want to be able to be that person that keeps everybody's spirits high. That's great when a high school a student player says that, thinks about the team above her own personal goals. It's great. So the first 2 that we've interviewed, great players, obviously, but man, great leaders, and successful programs need that leadership, and we definitely have it here this year. So sorry for the interruption, Coach, but you had a couple other things. I wanted to say that before I forget.
So one of the things we started it last year. Well, actually, I'll tell you 2 different things that we do. So one thing we do is we have a player of the game. I should have told you to bring the thing. That's okay.
I have my bag.
Sorry. We do a player of the game. Last year we did like a belt, like a championship belt, but this year we did like a real heavy MVP chain. It's real heavy. So Avery is the reigning MVP at the moment. So that's one thing that we kind of do that's kind of fun. And then the other thing we do is we have a thing called the ace race. So we keep track of like aces every game. And then every week I just add on to it. And we have a neat little graphic that I send out every week, but she's also winning the ace race at this moment too. So we have another player's in a close second, but she's the current leader in that. So Just something to kind of give them, something kind of root to cheer for and work on, and just something fun for the season. So every game will award a player of the game, and that little chain kind of travels around. But yeah,
Coach, I got to ask you, when do you put that chain on them? Is that after a game or is that during y'all's own practice? Because if it's after a game, I'd definitely love to take a shot with my phone. Something else we can post. I mean, anything that I'm one of these type of guys. I like to hype up the school. I mean, anything that we can be a part of. If you so you're able to put that chain you said right after the game.
Yeah, we'll usually like do it in the locker room, but we can do it in the gym. I mean, just for social media purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Take it on there because they stay on the network. I mean, 2-3 years from now, we're still doing this with Ingleside, right? I mean, you can go back and look at it and say, look what I did, 3 years ago. That's the best part of what we do here. Want to keep the podcast up so people can come back. We play it. Hopefully, we can get out there with some sponsorships out in Ingleside where, people go in to eat some of those restaurants and on their screens, man, they'll be putting up the podcast or a game. It's what we're hoping to do. Get the community, get the businesses involved in what we're doing with this network to support our athletic program, our players and stuff. So absolutely, whoever gets a coach, if I can just have a shot at them after the game would be awesome for our network. So absolutely, Coach. Well, thank you very much. Anything else you got to add?
No, just if y'all are watching this, come on Tuesday. We need as many fans in the stands as we possibly can. The louder it is, the more energy and it just makes it fun for everybody. So be there.
It does. And again, I will be out there Tuesday. So you can support the Lady Mustangs through the MPND Sports Network. But again, we'd rather have you out there. If you're in town, please come on out. It's going to be a good game. Skidmore's coming in, a very good program. You heard Coach say that. So we're going to have our hands full, but we're definitely looking forward to the challenge. And we're at home, so it's home court. So as many people as we can get out there so that our girls can get that energy and get that win would be greatly appreciated. But again, if you can, if you're out of town, alumni that are in college, if you got some time, just tune into the MPND Sports Network and continue to support Lady Mustangs through the live stream. Coach, thank you very much. Again, just email me the stats and I'll take a look at them and we'll definitely break that down next week. Coach will be back next week on Wednesday. But again, if it's not, they will upload it later on tonight or Wednesday night. You could definitely be expecting it first thing Thursday morning. Coach, have a great one. Good luck this weekend. Avery, thank you for joining the podcast. Good luck. And we hope that Coach will bring you back again before the season ends. And Coach will be looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Bye. Bye.